Hi everybody. I wanted to take a moment to share and talk about a project that I've been working on for the last year. This is the sequel to the Hereafter Burial Grounds, or not the sequel, but the follow-up, the second album. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about it. Here's a clip, a snippet. So it's an album we've been working on for a while. Hereafter is a project that began for me 2 years ago, and it was part of the Tin Idol Productions out of Honolulu. And Gerard Gonsalves and Jimmy Caterine, Darren Sullivan, they were all working on a project, and they approached me to sing and to write lyrics. They had a concept in mind, but my mind completely went in a different direction, and we all decided to kind of follow it. And Hereafter was conceptually was born out of that, and I really appreciate that opportunity, Jimmy and Gerard, especially, for bringing me in on that and letting me play as the kind of role that I did, and I appreciate that because I'm the kind of artist, you know, especially when it comes to music or things that I write. My personal philosophy is that if you're not using your gifts for something greater than yourself, then you are wasting your gifts. So for me to be asked to sing on an original project, it got me motivated to do things again. It was since '97 that I had really worked on an original project collaboratively, with Sweat and Blood, and some terrible misfortune that happened within that project kind of turned me off to the collaboration for a long time. And Jimmy and Gerard brought me back, and I realized that if I'm going to use my voice, I want to amplify my voice, and I want to say something meaningful. Burial Grounds was a social commentary, and this new album, Purified, is a cry from the perspective of the natural world to the human spirit, to wake up, reconnect, remember that we are part of a living organism, an interdependent matrix of life. And that is what this record attempts to convey conceptually. And it tells the conceptual story of the transmission of disease, both metaphorically and literally. The disease of the old world, the disease being the disease of greed and disconnection from the natural world and from humanity. And the disease spreads through North America. And so the album also deals with a lot of indigenous rights issues that are happening right now. Right now, even amidst all this panic and all this chaos, there are power grabs. They are accelerating the pipeline to bring the dirtiest oil from the Alberta tar sands. And if you are not familiar with the Alberta tar sands, Google an image. Better yet, I'll show you one. And we are talking about miles and miles and miles of desecrated, completely destroyed ecosystems in Alberta, Canada, and all that dirty oil is being piped across the United States. As all this is happening with the virus, states are passing anti-protest laws that are really in direct violation of our First Amendment. But it's the corporate influence to protect this oil. Now you got to remember the price of oil is falling rapidly. And that system, that paradigm, that 100-year-old system is falling. And they're scrambling and power grabbing right now to make sure that it happens. Please pay attention to what's happening. Take a look at the Alberta tar sands. This song here that I played a bit for you is called Tar Sands Wastelands, and it is about just that. It's about the desecration of the tar sands. It's about the rates of cancer and illness as a result of the toxification of the environment and water. It's the world's third largest watershed, and there's no way that anybody knows of at this moment to remediate the problem there, and yet the destruction accelerates. So I encourage everybody to pay attention to what's going on and really, really look and think about how we want to go going forward. This album that I'm working on is ironically more pertinent and relevant now and as it was a year ago when I began writing the lyrics in earliest stages of this with Jimmy Caterine, our new bass player, Pete Crane, our drummer that I worked with on the Walls project, Steve Hambrook. And we are hoping, actually she's agreed to do it, we're bringing in Lisa Belladonna on the keyboards and all vintage synths and Hammonds and things. And what this album attempts to convey is the idea that I've been saying for the last few days about transformation. It's an allegory of a parasitic, destructive human species diseased with greed, as a caterpillar munching its way through the environment, destroying everything, and eventually destroying itself through the process of transformation. And that's ironically where we are at right now. So use it for transformation. Let's not allow these destructive and monolithic systems to rebuild. Let's do what we can to get engaged and active and demand that we innovate a path forward that is congruent with life on Earth. And the best way to do that is through indigenous traditions. There are indigenous cultures out there that still exist, and they hold spiritual and philosophical principles that we will need to adopt. Modify them however we must to match our own cultural understanding and perception of things. But we need to see the earth, and all life upon her as sacred. And now's our time. So please, I encourage you, stay informed. And let's not let this sickness, and I mean the greater sickness, not just this virus that we're dealing with now. This is a small piece of what is to come. And we need to wake up to that now and do our part first to change our mind, then we can change society, then we can change the system. And it all, like the butterfly, like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly, it has to happen from inside. It has to happen from inside each of us. And it has to happen through spontaneous grassroots movements of people awakening to trigger change. The society will not change. We must change from within. It all begins here. So please, everybody, pay attention to what's going on. If you'd like to learn more about Hereafter, the last record, Burial Grounds, I'll post a link in the description where you can find more information about that. And I appreciate everybody's time and attention. And not attention here, attention there, around us, in the world. Attention for the future. This is all I ask of you. Thank you.